Hello, my fellow Americans. You can call me Kami. And I'm going to help you guys with learning Unreal Engine as well as 3D programs. I'm actually, I guess I'd say I'm somewhat intermediate at this program. And as I learn, I want to be able to teach you guys as well because it helps me to learn. Also, a little bit about me. I have a history with graphic design and 3D animation. I first started using Lightwave, which is the same program that's used in, what is it? The Walking Dead. And I'm learning a Blender right now, and those two programs come in pretty handy with Unreal Engine. So I'm going to try to keep this tutorial at about maybe around 10 minutes. It's just going to be a very basic intro to Unreal Engine. So I'll be showing you how to open up the program, start a new project. I'll just be explaining a couple of the windows, what they mean, and their purpose. And I'll show you how to make some basic geometry like circles, triangles, and just kind of set up a level. And with that being said, we'll get straight into it. So we're going to open up the Epic Games launcher and we're going to go to launch. Oh, and for this project, I will be using Unreal Engine 5. Feel free to use Unreal Engine 4 if you want to. I recommend that you use 5 so you can follow along with me. So when you start the program up, it'll launch as quickly as your hard drive and processor is able to open it up. We're going to go to games, and we're just going to do a blank project. So let's leave it blank, and we'll leave it on Blueprint. And as far as quality, target platform, we'll keep it on desktop. If you have a lower quality computer, you can choose mobile. That's just fine. And we'll name this project, I'll call it practice. And so we're going to create the project. It's going to take a second to boot up. And we'll be greeted with the Unreal Engine basic project, which is just a scene with a table and two chairs and a little table lamp. So this is Unreal Engine 5, and I actually have my Windows set up to look like Unreal Engine 4. So actual Unreal Engine 5, this content browser would kind of pop in and out, but I have it set up to where it stays there because that was just kind of annoying to me. And so a couple things that you should know is how to move around. So I'm using a keyboard and a mouse. We're just going to use the WASD keys to move around in space, and you can use your mouse to look around. If you want to look around, you want to hold the right mouse button and use the WASD keys to move around. Q will let you shift downwards. E will bring you up. You can also zoom in and out with Z and X to change the, I guess, the aperture. And that's all you really need to know as far as movement. Selecting objects on screen, you're just going to left click to select them. And if you want to move something, well, you have different options to move objects and rotate them and all that. So you can take this chair or whatever object you want, press W, and you can see these arrows here. You can move the chair up, down, left, right, all in 3D space. So I'm just going to Control Z to undo that. If you want to rotate it, you can press E, which will give you different options to rotate it on the X, Y, and Z axis. And you can also size it if you wanted to by pressing R, which will allow you to change the size of any object that you select. So we have these chairs here. I'm going to click them, press delete on these objects to make it go away. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to take this floor right here, press R, and just expand it so I have a bigger floor to work with. And let's go through all the panels really quick. So this is obviously the main viewing window where you're going to see your level. On the right side, we have the details panel. This is going to give you the details of any object that you select within this 3D space. So I have this floor selected. and it's going to tell me its location, rotation, scale, what materials are put on it. So there's a metallic material on it, and just a whole bunch of other stuff that you can change, attributes that you can manipulate, whether or not it's a object that you can collide into, if other objects will pass through it, if it should simulate physics, how light affects it. There's just so many things you can do. And to see the list of objects, or actors, I should say, that you have in your level, you're going to go to this World Outliner panel, and you can just select anything. You can select cameras, you can select objects, you can select your sky. There's so much that you can do. Where your actors are going to be placed and I guess saved so that you can manage them is here in the content browser on the bottom left. So I just have the starter content, which is what Epic Games gives you as like a basic starting point for any project that you have. There's different folders with materials and other props and shapes and stuff that you can use. So you can take a prop and drag it out like this bench and just put it here, size it to make it a little bit bigger. Boom, you have a bench. F to focus on the object. You can hold the Alt key and the left mouse button to rotate around it. And since it's not on the floor, I'm going to press the N key so that it sits down right on the surface that it's above. Pretty cool, huh? If we wanted to make an object, like a shape, and just put it inside the level, we can go to this Create button and choose Shapes. I'm going to take a cube. We have a cube. I'll just press the N key so that it sits down on the floor. Size it up a little bit. And I could put, you could do whatever you want. I'll put a circle, a sphere. Size it up. So that's how you would make shapes. And there's so many other things that you can do with this Create panel. You can add cameras. You can add a cinematic, which pretty much works like, I guess you could say, Windows Movie Maker, where you can have different scenes and kind of cut and edit things together. That's what you would do here in the sequencer. I'll talk about that more in a separate video. The content browser, this is awesome because you can go and find more objects or textures that you want to use using the Quixel Bridge Marketplace. They integrated that in Unreal Engine 5, which is way better than how it was before. Blueprints, I'll talk about that more in detail in a separate video. Blueprints are pretty much just instructions that you can give to any actor within a level to allow it to have more, I guess, capabilities or functionality to it. So I could have a blueprint written for the sphere to make it so that it lights up a different color and changes colors as time passes on. That's just the example that came up off the top of my head. Cinematics, that's the same thing as I said before, going with the sequencer. I'm not going to talk about like what's here in File, Edit Tools and all that, maybe another video. Here in the Windows panel, here's where you can use different modes. So you can create like a landscape. You can use the foliage mode. You can have a mesh like this square and paint on it. There's a fracture mode, so I could take this square right here and make it so that I can break apart. Brush editing mode, so it's a bit more specific with painting and all that. I'll go more into these in a separate video. And on the right side here, these are just different options of how you can kind of navigate your way through this 3D space and manipulate objects. You can set how big objects will scale towards, so you can make it so it scales a little bit at a time, or maybe it'll jump a bigger leap and just become like a huge object or a really small object. You can change the grid spacing so that it moves smoothly throughout this 3D space without any hiccups or skips, or you can make it move kind of in a really ugly fashion where it kind of skips steps. And maybe if you have like a grid and you want to move your object within that certain grid pattern, that might be helpful, but I like to just keep it smooth, so I usually have it around like 5 or 1. You can do the same thing with rotation. This will help you change the snap value of your rotation, so it'll be like a smooth rotation, or you can have it kind of snap and rotate harshly. There's scale settings and your camera speed settings. So we're moving very slowly right now. We can also move very quickly. I'm just using the middle scroll wheel on my mouse so that my camera moves faster, and I'm going to scroll down so that it moves slower, or I can change that option up here. And that's pretty much it for basics. Oh, there's lights too. I can add lights to the scene. There's different kinds of lights. A point light would help if you're wanting to simulate like a, regular light bulb. You have a rectangular light, which would probably be better for like one of those hallway lights. I don't know what they're called exactly. Skylight would obviously be great for like a sun or something. But yeah, this is just the basics of what's going on in Unreal Engine 5. I just want to get you introduced to it, on what you can do. Whenever you want to start your game, you can press this play button and it'll throw you straight into the level so you can see how much frame rate you're going to get, or how your game plays while you're in game. I don't have this level set up in any way to where I'm using first-person controls or third-person controls. I'm literally just a floating camera, but as we go on, I'll explain more about what you can do with this engine, what it's capable of, what you're capable of, and yeah, let's just learn this program together. I'm going to press escape to escape out of that. So I hope this helped you out just a itty bit. Remember, this is just a teeny tiny introduction to Unreal Engine 5, just so you can have an understanding of the layout of the engine. So when I'm giving instructions of, hey, click over here in the content browser, or click here in the details panel, you have a better understanding and you're not just totally lost of what's going on. So make sure you watch this video first before I make explanations of anything else. So let me know how you like this video. Leave a comment below if there's anything that I should change as far as teaching and expressing how to utilize this engine. Please just leave a comment below. Let me know what it is that I can do. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you have an awesome week. Thanks and peace.